At the core of every issue facing the St. Louis area, population loss. This is Forward. I'm David Amilati.
And I'm Nathan Vickers. And this might be one of the biggest issues we're dealing with as a region. And if we don't take fast action, this could impact everything about our lives here in St. Louis, for us, for our kids, and for our grandkids.
Experts on the issue, which is something many areas of America is facing right now, tell us we have about a 4-year window to try and turn this population loss around for St. Louis. I mean, we're standing in Chesterfield right now, an area that's trying to build a $2 billion downtown to attract families and business.
Tonight on Forward, we have two different takes about how we can address this issue, starting with a look at how we got to this point. The neighborhood around Sheila Pargo's childhood home has changed with the decades.
So my parents bought this house from a white family. I think we were the second in '67. We were the second black family to move on the block.
A change her family was a part of when they moved into her home in the O'Fallon neighborhood nearly 60 years ago. Pargo remembers it as a great place to grow up.
White flight started taking place and more blacks moved into the neighborhood, which was great. You know, we had a lot of classmates from the Harrison School that we were able to walk to, and Beaumont High School.
Back then, the city of St. Louis had around 620,000 residents. But by 1980, the city had shrunk to 450,000, then dropped to just below 400,000 in 1990, then to 350,000 at the turn of the century. And over the years, Pargo noticed it in the neighborhood.
What really hit me was when I would come by and visit my parents, and I was telling my kids about how I experienced the neighborhood and all the great things that I had access to that isn't here now. Buildings aren't here, the businesses aren't here. It just saddened me. It just saddened me. I got upset because I saw how the community changed.
Today, abandoned homes around the city tell the story of that population loss. This map from the recently established Vacancy Collaborative shows empty buildings and lots shaded in red and green. More than 24,000 properties, with concentrations in areas hurt by disinvestment, segregation, and redlining. But even through decades of population loss, in every neighborhood, there are still people who believe in their city's future.
We do have people that have given their all in all into making this a wonderful place to live.
20 years ago, Paulette Hilton and her husband purchased and restored an abandoned historic home in Hyde Park.
I had every house in this square to look at, and this one stole my heart.
She expected others to do the same, the kind of transformation that took place in Lafayette Square and other historic neighborhoods.
The people that have come here and tried to make it work were professionals. They had good jobs, good education, and the money to make it work. So I don't know why it didn't work.
That lack of investment and lack of growth in many neighborhoods has seemed to persist.
I don't understand how it went from what it was then, a thriving community, to what it is now. I don't understand it. Because when you care about where you live, it shows. And that's what we're lacking here. It's not showing that people care about being here.
Understanding those issues means understanding the city and the region's unique story.
So St. Louis's trajectory is fascinating, right? We boom in the 19th century, just rocketing up, and then suddenly there's this huge decline.
Amanda Clark with the Missouri Historical Society describes it as a shift that happened in nearly every major U.S. city in the 20th century.
Suburbanization was not something that, and white flight, that was not invented here in St. Louis. It happened all around, but we had this quirk of our city, which is that city-county line, and so that suburbanization was even more marked. That line separates resources. It does a lot of complications that other cities don't have.
Look across the state at Kansas City, which annexed around 250 square miles between 1940 and 1980, keeping its tax base within its limits. Nearly every major U.S. city did the same. But during that same period, St. Louis lost population, largely to St. Louis County and the dozens of suburban municipalities that formed.
You have that 1950 census where we peak out at almost 1 million people, and then in the 1960 census, St. Louis and St. Louis County have almost the exact same amount of people.
Even as the city continued its losses, St. Louis continued to grow as a region. But today that growth is slower, just 1.2% between 2010 and 2020.
Originally, there's growth definitely since that time. That has not been, the entire region hasn't been declining since then. Right now, though, I think we are on kind of a precipice of a little bit of decline regionally when it comes to birth rates.
That overall picture is complicated, with pockets of growth, but also loss spread throughout the region.
In North St. Louis, that Black population is also moving to the county, right? So you're seeing this movement, while in South St. Louis, you have neighborhoods like Tower Grove South that are going up in population, and those demographics are changing. This is a really important place. It's important to our country's history, it's important to now, and it's not a simple history, it's complex. There's reasons why it has its challenges, and understanding that history is what will get us, I think, moving in the right direction.
What keeps me in St. Louis is just my love for what was and what could be.
On Hilton's block, the city has recently been using ARPA funds to stabilize vacant homes, which she hopes will encourage others to seek out the same opportunity she once had.
Where else can I come and move into a house, having an average, normal life, and move into a house that's 5,400 square feet?
Through changing times and changing neighborhoods, that sense of community is Pargo's way forward.
Bringing that kind of love back to the community is what's going to take to make it thrive again.